Hello. I haven't even worn this strap for like 10 minutes, and already I have this thought of, do I want to be wearing this strap? It's very unfortunate that this is how my body likes to, like, what in the world? What's with my shoulders? Like, you're not holding shit. It's literally just, pushing. It's like at the sides, and yet it's my shoulders, like the top of my shoulders, rather than my ribs that are, having the problems with the leap motion and the what have you. I don't know what's up with that. Alright, looks like everyone else is dead. We still got like 3 minutes, but fuck it. Let's head over onto this section here. Hi, everyone! Happy Wednesday! Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing all right. I had another day of work. I did fairly all right. Hello, our own turn. Welcome to the stream. I have not seen that name in a long time. When did you... February. Really? Really? You were here February? My goodness, I was not clued into that. Because, like, yeah. Hi, welcome. Been a while. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, something about me wearing the leap motion now, it's like, you know, oh, the left shoulder or something like that decides to have, like, some sort of problem. And I'm like, why? You're barely holding anything on me. Like, what could be here that's a problem? You're rarely here? Look, that's fair. I mean, like, quite frankly, it's a wonder anyone is able to catch me, because, like, sure, I do, like, the regular streaming as best as to my ability, you know, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. I used to do Fridays, but I've kind of, like, stopped doing that, because ever since I've been on my shake diet, I just don't have the energy to be, like, mentally at my PC all day, and then, you know, step away from that for an hour, and then go back to my PC and start doing streaming, because that's an entirely different, like, mental thing, but I'm mentally drained. It's the time zones. You're in the US. Ah, that would do it. Yeah, me with my American accent, living in Australia, doesn't make it easy. Like, I am at a completely terrible time for a lot of people. And it's like, the Americans, you know, the few that know of me, it's like, well, damn, the only times they get to see me is, like, you know, Saturday morning or something like that. Because I'm not gonna stream, you know, late into that. Yo, you safe, mate? Yeah, I've got, like, another 40 hours before... So, yeah, if people are wondering what the fuck code is on about, in Australia... Hang on a second, let me get Opera GX running. Ding. And then copy this link. And then we paste that into here. Can people see the Opera GX in the background? No? Alright, where's my Opera GX? There's the Opera GX. So, as you can see here, there's a fuck off, like, cyclone or something like that. And if you're and I am somewhere around here. Somewhere around here is the Zeebs. Now, like, let's start the clock. So, as you can see, there's been, like, a tornado, or not a tornado, a cyclone, sorry, that's been slowly encroaching its way. Like, it's supposed to be, like, you know, heading over through here, and there's, like, this cone of uncertainty. It doesn't know where exactly it's gonna go. It's absolutely hilarious. Like, hang on a second. So... Also, why is this accelerating at, like, an hour? Like, ding, dong. Like, look at this. It's slowly been getting to us. Although it looks like it's about to fucking dissipate, which is... Like, see how... Like, look at that. Like, hang on, let me zoom out. There we go. Alright, so...
Hey Grant, I hope you're doing okay and staying safe.
Yeah, I am. Like, look, this isn't gonna happen for a while, alright? So, this is where it's at right now. This is the cone of uncertainty, so maybe the cyclone will hit somewhere along here, but there's a predicted path where it's just gonna go across, like, you know, Brisbane, or, like, north of Brisbane. So, it expects to get to this point here by Thursday evening. So it thinks it's going to be, like, just off the coast. Then it will touch down, like, Friday morning, 10 a.m. is where it predicts it's going to be. Like, you know, who knows? Oh, looks like God put a hit on you. Stay safe. It's fine. It's fine. Because you know why? It was, like, a Category 4, like, back here. And then it dropped down to, like, a category... Like, look at this. It was, like, a Category 4. Like, it started here, and then it was, like, going down, and we were like, oh my god! And then it just went zoom! And then look at this! Look at this shit. It just pulled a fucking 180. It was like, you know, March 3rd. It's just like, you know what? Zoink. Just do the old switcheroo is what they did. They just did the old switcheroo, like going down here and now it's like crossing over into here. So it's like ding 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 ding. So as you can see there, it was at category 1, now it's spiked up to category 2, and that's where it is right now. So slowly but surely, it's heading to Southeast Queensland, and, you know, where, like, I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm not going to be dealing with flooding. It's a category 2, so the winds are going to be, like, 100 kilometers an hour, maybe. Like, it's been having its thingamadiggy. And it's forecasted to be, like, you know, 100 when it, like, you know, finally, like... So it's at that point there that they're like, be concerned. There will be strong winds and shit, so... Which is annoying, because I wanted a haircut on Friday. Friday was my day off, and I was like, I'm gonna get a haircut. I'm gonna enjoy Monster Hunter Wilds. But fucking Alfred over here is deciding to be like, Don't blow away my hair, but that's basically what I'm gonna be doing. I gotta send photos to Code and my moderators of, like, this is what, like, you know, a before and after shot. It's gonna be hilarious. There you go, no hair. So yeah, so anyway, I can close that window now because it's not necessary. But yeah, so that is going to be that's going to be something that's happening, which is going to be very annoying to deal with on, like, but the Thursday, Friday. But the good news is I don't have to go into the office tomorrow, so yay. I just need to make sure that we don't end up with, you know, no power. Otherwise, it's going to be a very annoying long weekend for me. You got Monster Hunter Wilds after all. It's such a good game. It is a good game. I won't be playing it on stream, however, because I am on a 1 PC setup, so... And it's unoptimized as fuck, so it's not going to be something I'm going to be playing, like, live on stream for people. I debate whether it is worth it, but I don't think it... Like, I feel like I'm going to make a bad experience because of, like, buffering and what have you. And what's more is... Tens of thousands of people are playing Monster Hunter Wilds on stream right now as well. I don't think I'm going to be doing quite a good job. Like, because I don't have the pull. I don't have, like, the follower or the, you know, the active viewer pull to be able to be like, oh, hey, we're going to be playing, like, a brand new game. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, you got to watch Grant. He's going to be playing a brand new game. Come on over. Like, that's not what's going to happen here, I'm sorry to say. Instead, what's going to happen is we're going to be playing something classic, like, Untitled Goose Game. Look at that. Fucking brilliant, whatsamahoozy, scene transition, wasn't it? Alright, so we got that guy over there. And then... Alright, so you... Break you down. And then we are gonna go... Alright. Is she going to... Alright. Because that was one of the tasks, is we had to try and make it so that... Alright, so she sees... So she sees that. Also, hi there, Dwagon Knight and Sir Dragon. Welcome, welcome. Hello. Peace was never an option? No, it never was. Come on. You think I'm a duck. Come on. Think I'm a duck. Think I'm a... No! Why would you do that? That's not fair. Also, where is the duck? I swear there was like a... Like, she had a duck here at one point, I'm pretty sure. What happened to that? But yeah, I have some tasks that I need to do. I need to make someone break the fancy vase. I need to help the woman dress up the bust. I need to make the man spit out his tea. And then I need to get dressed up with the ribbon. And then I have to make the man go barefoot. Fairly decent himbo rating. Good on you. Oh!
I'm studying now at TAFE and this afternoon we had to leave due at a bushfire in the area. It's okay now, we can go back tomorrow.
Nice. Alrighty then. Well, so long as you're all safe after the bushfire thingy-majiggy. Australia just does not have a good day, does it? Alright, let me grab you. And then... get this cricket ball. There we go. Yeah! Is literally the country that is on the passport. This country wants to kill you. It doesn't say it on the passport, but I get the sentiment. Alrighty, so... Alright, and then... So... Yeah, so if she does... No, 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 no. No! I wish I could take the... Oh! How the fuck did she slip? Oh my goodness, does she, like... Ah. But yeah, hang on. Alright, what's she gonna do with the... No, okay, so I can't, like, just... trick her, I don't think. And then... Alright, hello. Let's see, is he gonna have a sip of his coffee? Come on. But yeah, so... Oh, by the by, Macro March is on this month, so... Anyone that, like, you know, does subs, gifted subs, bits, or anything like that? Aww. I did it too late. So yeah, if anyone does, like, gifted subs or anything like that, I will get bigger. You... Alright, hang on. Da, 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 da. Alright, let's see what happens. But yeah, so far I've only grown like 6 meters, and that was in the first stream, thanks to Blighting Faded and a few others. It was pretty good, let me tell you. Ooh. Why is she annoyed? Like, come on, like, just pretend I'm a duck. No! Like, how dare you? Ah! Get fucked. Wait, can I grab the shears? Yes, I can. Can I do something with these shears? No, no. But yeah, so also, yeah, check out my Discord. Thank you, Jason. What are you on? What are you on about? Oh, sorry, Dragonite. So yeah, it's not on the passport that the country wants to kill us, but the country is very, you know, very much, you know, it's very dangerous here and there. Also, I need a... There we go. Okay, so... So we leave that there. Yep, there we go. He wants his teapot for whatever reason. He's gonna, and then he wants his newspaper. Anyway, but yeah, Micro Much. I've always liked how the whole point of the game was to cause chaos. Yeah, you're just a goose. You're just a silly goose. Ooh, hang on. No. No, no, give it back. There we go. Get fucked, get fucked, get fucked, get fucked! Get fucked. Thank you, Jason, for being my biggest fan. No, no. Alright, hang on. I need to... Let me get my thingy, and then... Nah, okay, never mind. Dink, get the pipe. No! No, 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 no! No, 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 no! This is a very difficult map, because it's like trying to... Alright, hang on. Ow. But yeah, hi there, Bookie. The didn't work. I think the hello there might be glitched. Like, I think some of the video some of like the videos don't play properly, and I just do not have the... Alright, hang on a sec. I need to now untie this thing. And then I need to grab his shoe. There we go, there we go. No! Yeah, get fucked, woman. Alrighty, now he should be... Alright, so right now he's just doing his thing. I love how the goose, like, just, like, looks at the thing. Alright, is he gonna notice that he's missing a shoe, or not? Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Ready? 3. There we go. He spat out his tea. Oh, I'm getting notifications from someone. So yeah, he sees me eyeing his pipe. Also, how are you not just getting rid of your other shoe at this point? Like, come on, dude. Get dressed up with a ribbon. So yeah, how do I, like, get dressed up with a ribbon is the question. Oh! Ah! Oh! Oh, that is tragic. The thing hasn't worked for you at all? It'll work at some point. Alright, so now they're talking about the... Ah! Wait, can I do something? Oh, I can. She's just having a terrible time while I'm, like, in the way of her door. Alrighty. So there's that. Can I do anything about that bush? No. Alright, so what were my options? Help the woman dress up the bus, which I'm doing. Get dressed up with a ribbon. Make the man go barefoot. Do the washing with a bra, a pair of socks, a slipper, and a bar of soap. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Ah! What was that yippee for? Also, I feel like some of my, like, nonsense is delayed. Yep. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'll go. I'll go. Don't worry about me. Yeah. Alrighty, and then... Donk. There we go. Alrighty. So she doing all that. And then... Can't believe the bra was that easy to grab. There we go. So, drop that there. Grab the bar of soap. Drop that. Oh, nope. Alright, might as well grab these things and see if I can get them over into the pond thing. So yeah, I need like a pair of socks and a thingamadiggy. Did you miss out on this game when it released, by the way? This is one of the games that I haven't heard of in ages. Surprised to see people still remember it. Yeah, like it wasn't a game that I had the chance of playing when it first came out. I don't know, like it didn't like fully like what's more is I also saw Markiplier play a little bit of it, so I am I'm fairly familiar with like the premise and like, you know, some of the nonsense I can do, but you know, I didn't like pay full attention to it. Hence why like I don't know how to do the like some of the stuff like the oh hey, you want to try and dress your goose and what have you. All right, so that's one sock. Now I need to go and get the other sock, I think. Yep, a pair of socks. Oh, a slipper. I need well, I know where I can get a slipper, so just gonna take this with me. Nope, 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 nope. This is coming with me. Get fucked. So yeah, I just need to get the other guy's slipper. Nice try, bozo. No, 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 no. Give it back. Give it back! That's my soap! Give it fucking back! The indecency of it all. Can't a goose have fun? I still play it now and then for fun? Ah, nice. Oh, you're fully in the... Okay, I see. go. And then da-da-da-da-da. Don't get stuck on the stuff. There we go. Bonk. There we go. No, he's taking my laundry! For fuck's sake. Go. I am a sneaky. But yeah, it's a fun game. Reminds me of some of the more obscure PS2 games like Katamari Damacy, where you just do shenanigans. Yeah, shenanigans is good. So yeah, this one does shenanigans too. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. Ooh. No! No, 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 no. Fuck you. My sock. The absolute fucking indecency. You don't get your newspaper now. Screw you. Screw you and your newspaper. You're just gonna have to entertain yourself some other way. Also, what is with my... Okay, maybe I need to give him his newspaper. Yeah, I might need to give him his newspaper. Because otherwise I won't be able to, like, sneak the nonsense, like, in and out. So there's gonna be that problem. I wish there was a way to... And then dink, and then we run over here. Thank you for the hyper himbo there, Owl. I appreciate it. Nigger! Come on. Follow me, follow me, follow me.
Bigger! Bigger!
There we go.
Bigger!
Oh, thank you.
Bigger! Bigger! Bigger!
No, this is my stash! My stash! Get the fuck away from it!
Bigger! Bigger! Bigger!
Where is the bar of soap? Okay, I have no idea where the bar of soap is. And this guy keeps stealing my laundry! Also, thank you for helping me grow just a couple more centimeters. I do appreciate it. I can grow way bigger with, like, way more iterations within the singular stream. Because that's kind of like that's the trick of this, Where's the soap? There's the soap. Okay, cool. So, I need to grab this sock. I'm gonna move you up over. Ah, damn you. Actually, while I'm here, I'll go and grab the sock again. Alright, so that's the first sock. Did she already get one of her socks up? Yeah, she did. Okay. So yeah. Hi there, Staz. Trouble Duck Simulator. It's a goose. They're even more troublesome than ducks. Honk. There we go. That way he doesn't, like, get suspicious and... Alright, so, anywhoosies, while he's having his tea break... Hey, so yeah, how's it going, Staz? Hope you're doing good. I am going through Macro March, and you'll notice that both in the chat log and also in the title that there's, like, you know, an update to my height. Now, you may be wondering, how do you get bigger? Well, I'll tell you how. It's by doing gifted subs and any bits, like, over 500. What's more is it doesn't even have to be explicitly 500. You can do, like, say 1,000, and that will grow me 2 times, or any value of bits, and they'll go into, like, a piggy bank. So then when the piggy bank does go up to 500, then it will use that, you know, piggy bank stuff. Sippies. So yeah. In my first stream of the week, I was able to, like, go up to, like, you know, a full, what's-mahoozies. Hang on. Where's the... Pretty sure you're still not... Oh, so you can maybe mod in here again. Oh, I think I know what they're talking about now. Okay, hang on. Actually, why aren't they in... Ding dong. Sorry, I'm just needing to do something real quick. Where are my members? There they are. Ding. Add. Moderator. There we go. Created like 7 years ago. They joined 20 minutes. Huh, I thought you were in my Discord like far earlier than that. But yeah, anywhoosies. So. Interesting, you say. Yes, interesting. Oh. Alright, let's not get caught by him. Here we go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. There we go. Alright, so we need a bar of soap and some slippers. Well, we can easily get the bar of soap from here. And then on our way... And then, like... So the bar of soap will be easy enough to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we got that. So now we just need a slipper. Damn, no. Ugh. Alright, we're gonna need a way for him to get the paper again. Because he's got that slipper. We get that slipper off him. He then goes barefoot. And that will complete, like, most of our tasks. I still don't know how to get myself dressed up in a ribbon, though. That's the unfortunate bit. Like, I thought by just simply pretending to be the duck that was at the thingy-majiggy would be enough. Alright. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Oh, a raid? Oh, hi there, K-Solar Storm. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Happy Macro March. How does it go? You doing good? You having a wonderful time? Hopefully you're having a wonderful time. Wolf Bed raid? Wolf Bed? Hi. Welcome, everyone. My name is Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer. Right now, I am going through the Untitled Goose Game. Alright, so. Right now, So, I'm trying to get the slipper off that man there. But it's not letting me. Alright. So, does the thing there. You been happy hunting? Oh, in Monster Hunter! Nice, nice, nice. Alright. What is... How do I get the other shoe off him is the question. Get fucked. Ooh, hello. Maybe. Nah, okay, you can't, like, paint with it. There we go. Nice try. Now he can't get his Now he can't get his paper. But yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful time in Monster Hunter Wilds. I have not had too much time being able to play Monster Hunter Wilds myself. Thank you, Phantom, for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Happy Macro March. So yeah, I've not had too much of an opportunity. Hang on, I need to wipe my board of, like, thingy. I've not had too much luck of being able to play Monster Hunter Wilds, because work keeps me a little bit busy, and there's been a few times where, you know, obviously I need to do streaming and what have you. Oop. Don't mind me. There we go. Alright, make someone prune the prized rose. So yeah, I still have not, like, made myself pretty, which is the problem. Alright, will she notice this time? Oh. Oh, thank you, Jason, again for the follow. What's up with that? Why did you have to follow Goose Yoink? Yeah, I'm trying to, like, I need her to dress me. Just dress me up, woman. crap!
Jason with the 38-month tier 1 sub. Somehow I unfollowed you.
Thank you so much for the refollow and for subscribing for the last 38 months. I really appreciate it. You don't have to worry about any of the advertisements, and you helped me grow even bigger. I am now 2.5 meters tall. You're finding a good hiding place for the goose is tough. Oh, so I need to like hide or something like that then. So wait, do I need to like grab... Alright, I'm gonna put you there. Like, is that the trick? Or am I supposed to, like... Come on! Oh. Try hiding the statue from both humans. Oh, so it has to be, like, from both of them. Okay. I thought it was enough that I, like... Darn you. Also, I can't untie that thing from this side. Ah! You must sleep. 3 a.m. here. Understandable. Thank you so much for rating into my viewers. Into the stream. I greatly appreciate it. I'll try and keep your viewers like occupied with my stream and what have you. And happy Macro March to you. All right. So she put the bow back on him. Alright. Let's see, will this work? Let's see if this works. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah! Make someone prune the prize rose. So yeah, so now comes the difficult part of like... How do I deal with the rose stuff? No goose. Okay, so that was their thing. Oh wait, maybe she... Oh, I see. Okay, so... Okay, so... No, come on. The prize rose has a rope on it. Alright, give me a sec, give me a sec, give me a sec. Oh. So... Alright, so I'm trying to find... Okay, so it's this rose that I have to try and cut. Oh, okay, I got you, I got you, I got you. I know what I need to do. There we go. So we do that. We do that. We do this. Three, two, one. There we go. Alright, I didn't need to ring the bell for it, so... Alright, so now comes the part where I need to... So he's gonna be mad at some point. Oh, now she's getting rid of the panels. Cool. Yay, I get to keep my bow on my neck. Look at that. Look at this distinguished gentleman. Yes, very distinguished. Oh. Alright, what's in here? Oh. Nice. Alright. So now I'm here. And... Where is this? Alright. Now we got more places. Hi there, buff werewolf dragon fireman. Welcome to the stream. That is a lot of nouns. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Happy macro. Alright, so we are now at this place. And he doesn't want us getting in. So... Oh, there we go. Alright. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, hopefully this will do something. But yeah, you're doing good? That's good to hear. Good to hear. Oh, what is up with my neck? Alright, hang on. Stealthy. Stealthy. Alright, so we need to get into the pub. We need to break the dartboard, get the toy boat, make the old man fall on his bum, be awarded a flower, steal a pint glass and drop it in the canal, set the table with a knife, fork, plate, pepper, and candle. Alrighty. Dun, 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 dun. Alrighty, and then... Very stealthy. Very stealthy. Cookie for Bookie. Here's your cookie, Bookie. Big cookie. Don't mind me. He just loves playing his games. Go on, play your darts. Go on, do it. Play your darts, play your darts. Aw, nice try, old man. God, I feel like that old man just... Ah, I did it too soon. There we go. That was easy enough to do. Alrighty. Next, we need to set the table. I have no idea where my... Okay, so not that way. Alright, so I need a table. Set the table. Knife, fork, plate, pepper, candle. Alright, well the question is... what table? Also, what happened to my ribbon? It's gone! Yay! They're liking this. Oh, yay! I got myself a flower. Alrighty. Alright, I need salt and pepper next. There we go. Alright, so... Alright, so... Oh! This table! Okay, now I know the table they're talking about now. Also... Ah! Gotta... What in the world? Okay. Am I gonna have to take off... Hang on. I'm gonna see what it's like not having the leap motion on my... on my chest. I'm gonna see how that's gonna feel. I'm gonna see what that feels like for a little bit. So there's gonna be no hand motion for a little bit, I'm sorry to say. If you're wondering why there's no hand motion, it's because I have a crick in my neck. Okay, knife, fork, plate, pepper, candle. Alright, I'm just gonna move them here. So, because then that way I'm not, like, accidentally getting it discovered by any of the other humans. And time is of the essence. Where the fuck are you taking me, woman? Where are you taking me, woman? Stop it! Stop! Knife, fork, plate, pepper, candle. Cookie for Phantom Sage. Here's your cookie, Phantom Sage. So yeah, so there's some animations that still work, such as the cookie. Because, you know, that was something I did, like, long ago, even before the time of, like, the leap motion and such. Alright, so I've got... Was that a fork? Yeah, I got a fork, so I need a knife and a... I need a knife and a candle. So those are the next things that I need. Cookie! Once again, for Phantom. Here's your cookie. Taking shelter here in the contestant deluge of the Monster Hunter Wild streams. Welcome, Izzy the Fat Cat. Welcome to your not Monster Hunter Wild stream. We're playing as a goose. There was a glitch. There was meant to be one. It's alright. It's not the end of the world. Look, I might be on a diet, trying my best to lose as much weight as I can on this intensive, like, only shakes diet and what have you, but you can do you. If you feel like you had a day that cannot be redeemed with one cookie, but 2 cookies, go ahead, get that second cookie, alright? There's been all kinds of nonsense that's happened out in the world. It's fine to do a, an extra cookie. Ooh, hello. Alrighty, so you're gonna deal with the... Yep. Thank you for the Hyper Himbo Omega. I greatly appreciate it. For Macro March, as you are no doubt aware, I can get even bigger than this. Did you know that, Izzy? Did you know it was Macro March?
Bigger.
Bigger! Alright, so, knife... Alright, so... So, knife... sorry, so this is a fork. And then...
Bigger.
We need the candle. Well, that fell off, so hang on a second, hang on a second. There we go.
Bigger.
There we... Nope. Damn you. Oh, hang on. I can do this instead, can't I? That way it drops onto the... There we go. That way I'm not trying to, like, you know, place it on the edge and what have you. So yeah, you're experiencing bad weather on your aim, so internet is crappy. Look, fair enough. There's going to be a cyclone that's going to be hitting, like, my state in, like, a day or two. So I put in a little thingy-majiggy of, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be streaming tonight, weather permitting. So who knows how long I'm going to be able to stream. So we need to break the Dark Void, we need to get a toy boat, and then steal a pint of glass and drop it in the canal. Oh, yeah, that pint glass sounds... Alright, here's the trick. So, we get this pint glass here. Now, it was pain and a half trying to get into this place in the first place, but you know what? For dropping it in the canal, totally worth it. Although, now it's dropped, so that's a problem. Get fucked. Alright, I need a glass. I need a glass. I do like the bonus thing here. Nice! I'm glad you do. Although, do be aware that you can only make me so much bigger while I'm Hyper Himbo. If you want to make me just bigger without needing to do the Hyper Himbo, then you know what you need to do. Bits and subs. But yeah. Also, hi there, Lester Fox. I see you, who's done the redeem for the quote-unquote bigger as well, so... see you there. Alright. So, I need to get this thing here. And then... there we go. He is none the wiser. I love how the cook here could not care whether or not I have the, pint glass. That's not their job. Alright, so this is the canal. So... there we go. Yee. Let's go fishing, shall we? No, won't let me go. Alright. Ooh. Hello. I love the little bopper just bopping. So yeah. Own turn doesn't get paid enough to care. Fair enough. It is what it is. Alrighty. Okay, so I need to get a toy boat, which I feel like is somewhere back this way. It's not gonna be in the, I don't think it's in the pub. I think it's somewhere else. Let's see. Oh, okay, so we can't go that way? Alright. Interesting. Oh, but we can go this way. Okay. Alright, so we got a package, we got a racket. And then we got... ooh, hello, mail. Drac, thank you so much for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing this evening? Hi. I would wave, but I have the leap motion taken off excuse me, I have the leap motion taken off my chest because it was doing, I don't know what's up with my body. Like, I'm trying to lose weight, and it was like, oh, hey, you're gonna have sore shoulders. And I was like, why would I have short or shoulders? And sore shoulders. And they're just sort of like, I don't fucking know. Alright, so I'm looking for a toy boat. Where the fuck would a toy boat be? So there's all the stuff I had. Oh, is it because do I need to go here and then I need to go? Alright, hang on. Can I grab the thing? No, I cannot. Can I push this? No, I cannot. Okay. Let's see. Oh, maybe I need to get the package and bring it over here. You're good. What about me? So yeah, sore shoulder. There we go. Sore shoulder. But otherwise, I am doing fairly all right. It's Macro March, so I've got like an additional redeem during Hyper Himbo, so then that way you're able to you know, make me even bigger, and if you get me to a certain size, then I actually grow. Right now, I'm like, you know, 2-point-something meters, so not too big. Ah, okay. Darn. I thought I could get him to... like, you know, do the quack thing. The leap motion thing must be uncomfortable. Like, it wasn't uncomfortable, like, you know, however long ago. So I don't know why it's deciding to be uncomfortable this time, to be real with you. Like, it's just, like, you know, sort of on the shoulder, or, like, left side of the shoulder, but for whatever reason, like, while I'm streaming... Like, I don't know if it's because, like, I just want to... Like, after a long day at work... Okay, I did it again. I didn't do the thingy-madiggy in time. Alright, hang on. Let's loop back around. You gotta go now. Later. It's nice meeting you. Nice meeting you too, Phantom Sage. Thank you so much for coming along to the stream. I really appreciate it. So, yeah. Like, I don't know if it's because of the leap motion or because of, like, you know, trying to do something else. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Yeah, so the only thing I'm missing is, like, the toy boat. That's the only thing I'm missing right now, which for all I know could be because of the package. So, actually, let's see. So I'm gonna head over this direction, pick up the package. Maybe the toy boat is in the package for all I know.
Glug, glub, glug, glub, glug.
But yeah, the leap motion is just like this tiny... Think of a GoPro and putting it on your chest. That's all the leap motion is it's just like this additional camera, so then that way you're able to, it's able to track hands and what have you. So I don't know why it has to be so uncomfortable. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Drop a bucket on the burly man's head. There we go. Oh, there's the boat! Okay, I see where the boat is. There we go. Come on, get the duck. Come on, get the boat, get the boat, get the boat, get the boat! There we go. No. Damn you, woman. I want my boat! Give me my boat! There we go. Got the boat. Oop. God damn you, old man. There we go. Get fucked, old man. The future is now, old man. Alrighty, so let's see. Where is this? Alright, cool. So he's open. Alright, so he's opened the lid, so then that way I'm able to just, you know, do the thingy-majiggy. Alright, cool, 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 cool. Alright, and then we open this up. And then we have this lovely water here. Can I open this? No, I cannot open that. Okay. Oh, can I open it? No. So that's locked, so I can't use that. Alright. Alright, let's see. Okay, so I have to go onto the thingy-majiggies. Under the bridge. Oh, hey, look, it's the little people. Steal the beautiful miniature golden bell. Oh, hey, it is actually, like, to scale of the town. That is actually a nice little model thingy. So, yeah, so you go, like, through here. So I was up here. And then, yeah, I went through the back of that to get through here, which is, so this is where the pub is, and then the so yeah. Oh, and then there's like a cast. There it is. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so that's the other one. We break this one. Oh, hang on. Can I? Let's. There we go. And tug it. Tug it! Tug it! Tug! Tug, 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 tug. It's gonna be mine! There we go. Oop. Okay, so if you run, you... So yeah, you have to go like all the way back through in order to... Is there a way out from this direction? No, there isn't a way out from this direction. So, all right, so now comes the part where I'm guessing I'm gonna... Where is it? Yeah, and take it all the way back home. All right, so I need to take it all the way back home. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. All right, can we go this way? No, we cannot. All right, so our only direction is to actually take it the long way back. Honestly, we can just walk this. There's no need for us to, like, you know, leapfrog through... Oh, hang on. Stay. There we go. All right, now we stealth our way across. go, here we go. Now, I'm pretty sure I have to take the canal here, because the other way was like... I think there's a secret way, but it's a hidden place. Yeah, so they've... Yeah, so they've just, like, plugged up that place there. And she, I'm pretty sure, is, like... Yeah, so... Yeah, so they set up boxes and things, so... Alright, and then this is the... Yeah, so that's locked. That's locked. No! My bell! Mine! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alrighty. So, he's still upsetty about his rose. Oh, come on. Alright, where's the old man? Oh, oh, no, 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 no. Mine. Mine, 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 mine. You don't get to have it. This game just turned into a JRPG with all this backtracking. Alrighty. Alright, hang on. Let's see. So this puts us back into, like, the shopping-esque district. Alright, so she's patrolling. Alright, here we go. It's turned into Metal Gear Solid 1. Don't worry, we're stealthing this shit, alright? Just watch the stealth. No. Shut up. This is still stealth. This is still stealth. If they don't capture you, it's still stealth. No, it's mine. Get away. Also, why is the kid chasing me this time? Oh my gosh, she's gaining on me. No, my bell. Mine. No, give me, no, that is my bell. Give it back. Give me back my bell. There, no, bell. Bell. It's my bell. Gotta be extra stealthy. Alright, are we gonna dash it? I think we're gonna dash it. We're gonna dash it! We're dashing it! There we go! You just need to fight God right now? This is me fighting God. I took over and I went through an entire town. The whims of a goose can best any town folk. There is no man above me. There is just me, the fucking goose. And almost got bested by a log, but I still did it. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, you know what this means? This is a JRPG because we're in a time loop. We do the same fucking thing every day. The town folk don't know any better, and we keep besting the town folk every day. We just keep stealing their fucking bell. Honk honk. Honk 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 honk. My bell. I love how the achievement is thank you for playing our game. Honk. Goose is living life on New Game Plus. Yeah, we just caught in, like, you know, leagues afterwards, after it got, like, half a dozen bells for itself. Goodness gracious. So, yeah. And now for the we are not doing a second run. What do you mean? There's no New Game Plus with this game, is there? Also, shoutouts to Izzy the Fat Cat, because Izzy is an amazing artist. You should go check him out. Look at him, just upsetties over there. Just upsetties over there thinking me. And hey, look at that! Victoria State Government. A Victorian video game. Look at this guy. Oh, we can accelerate this. Okay. Our mums and dads was made on the land of Ruindarjeri. People of the nation pay our respects, elders past and present. Thank you for playing our game.
Did you see it?
5 years old? Oh goodness, that's an old game. So Cabbage Picnic, Trip the Boy in the Puddle, Cookie for Lester Fox. Here's your cookie. I'm putting the leap motion back on, by the way. Make the shop scales go ding. Open an umbrella inside the shop. Make someone from outside the high street buy back their own stuff. Collect the 5 flowers in the basket over by... Oh, okay. So there's, like, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so this is New Game Plus, then. Okay, then. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. I love that I was able to just go honk. That was fun. I like that. That was fun. That was a fun game. I loved. Darn you, Lester. There is, but not really. Now you should have the special list for all the places. Yeah, it looks like I do have the special list. So. But yeah, I've never been a gamer to like 100% a game. I don't know what it is about those that want that completionist thing, but unless there's like a critical story element, and what I mean by critical is like, oh, if you're playing like a series of games and it's like, oh, there's 3 endings, but there's 1 canonical ending, normally I will do the extra effort to get to the canonical ending and what have you. You won't normally find me going through a 100% completion just because. That's not likely going to happen and what have you. Yeah. Wait, can I stop the music? No. I can kind of. Stop. Okay, if I put it here, it should stop the music. But yeah. Coming up in 1 minute is an advertisement. Okay, I'm gonna change us to just chatting for a little bit, because yeah, we got done with the Untitled Goose Game and what have you, and I'm really curious what everyone's day has been. There is, and like, you know, I might have some discussion points and what have you, so, you know, it is what it is. Oh, hey, Miho did a new piece of art. Pogs to them. Good for them. But yeah, good for them. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Man. Who knew playing a goose game would be tiring? I certainly didn't. Yeah. On Untitled Goose Game, loads of fun. It was absolutely fantastic. Alright, hang on. I'm just gonna... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna swap to standing mode. I'm gonna see how I do, like, you know, going into standing mode. Let's see. Also, why in the world is my... I need to figure out, like, what to do with my leap motion so it's not, like, just, you know, sitting on, like, my left shoulder causing me whatever kind of nonsense. Because it is a bit weird that it's doing this to my left shoulder of all things. Like, you would think it would be affecting, like, my sides or my right shoulder as well, but no, it only affects my left shoulder. But yeah. Is there an advertisement going off? I don't know if there is. It says advertisement starting soon, but I don't, like... What would I talk about during the advertisement? What would be of discussion for people? Man, tough crowd. There we go. There's the advertisement. Okay, so it's gonna go on for like a minute and a half. So, bing, dong. I can reduce the size of this thingy-madiggy. Slap you over here. Do I want to have a look at, like, my... Oop, hang on. No. We're not pausing the queue. We're resuming the queue. Thank you very much. But yeah. I wonder, when was the last time Izzy streamed? What were they doing art-wise? Schedule. 2 months ago. Ooh, okay, that was a while ago. Hope Izzy's doing alright. You good, Izzy? I remember you mentioning, like, it's been a bit of a... Oh my god, I forgot to reply into the thingy-madiggy. Hang on, cancel. Ding. Dong. A ding. Bam. I was wondering why there was, like, no interactions, because... Oh yeah, I made the mistake of not... I made the mistake of not posting on Blue Sky, one of my more... Yeah, I was just asking how are things, Izzy. Because, like, I just had a little quick look on the Twitch, and it was like, Izzy last streamed, like, 2 months ago, and I was just like, ooh, I hope everything's okay. If you're asking why I haven't been streaming, it's because people haven't commissioned me safe for work content from me. Darn it. Fuck. Chat, why? Commission Izzy. They do amazing safe for work stuff. What about personal arts? Like, I know you have, like, a... Like, I don't know. I know different artists have, like, different kind of... Or at least enough for me to comfortably plan a day of streaming. Fair enough, C's. So, I guess the question... Like, so what about, like, personal arts? Because I know some artists have, like, like, they have, like, different kinds of ways of unwinding and such. Lamau, I don't have time to make personal arts. Oof. Also, why did it do the macro march thing twice? It should have only have done it... Oh, it's because Izzy went MM question mark, and for some reason, it thought it was doing a macro... They thought Izzy was asking about macro march. That's kind of funny. But yeah, I might be able to price check it. Oh, hi there, Aria. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, hang on a second. Let me find Izzy's Blue Sky, because I'm pretty... Izzy has, like, they say they're open for commissions. They normally do, like, all kinds of amazing stuff. Alright, hang on. Alright, price check. Here is... The weather has been hell on my energy weather, so I probably won't be able to stream personal art until the next tropical storm, which is in the middle of April, in case you were wondering. Ah, okay, I didn't know when storms were. Because, like, in Australia... Our storm season is during summer. I know, how crazy is that? Apparently, like, the hottest time of the year for Australia is when we're most likely to get storms. Like, we're gonna be like, oh, hey, you are going to go and get, you know, a huge amount of, like, rain and thunder during the hottest year on record or something like that. It's like, you know... Or, sorry, the hottest time of the year. It's absolutely crazy that is when the storms decide to go off. Not like, you know, April or July. It's like, nope. December, January. Just absolutely fuck you over. Tropical monsoon season, rather. It's probably some remnant of Alfred flooding the Philippines. Wait, did Alfred cross into the Philippines? Hang on. Is that true? Also, let me just play some background music while I'm in just chatting mode. Is that true? Did Alfred, like, start all the way back in Like, hang on. Okay. Wait, hang on. Where is the Philippines? There's the Philippines. There we go. Also, there's like just this... There's just this gash right here. What's up with that gash? Alright. Has there been any... Ooh, hello. To the latest time. So there's the Philippines. Manila. I know that. I know that one. We've got people in Manila. Manila. Alright, and then we've got... So we... Tarlac City. Tuguegarao. Hang on. Tuguegarao. Tuguegarao. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I mean later, when the tropical monsoon starts. Ah, okay. Switch to live satellite. Shows real-life satellite imagery. Images are updated every 10 minutes with a delay between 20 to 40. City lights at night are not live. Fair nufsies. But yeah, alright, so you got Manila over here. Legazpi? Am I even saying some of these places right? Calbayog? Talcoban? Cebu City? Bacolod? Cabakalan? Puerto Princesa? Pagadian? Don't look at me, I don't speak... You're in the Philippines, aren't... Wait, no, you're not in the Philippines. Hang on a second. You just talked about Philippines shit, didn't you? Wait, hang on. This is why am I so bad at, like, remembering places and faces and... I'm terrible at remembering, like, friends, places, and what have you. Also, oh, what's up with the top of my toe? That's terrible. So, yeah. This is where we are. This is... Hang on a second, actually. Latest time. So, that's where Alfred is right now. Moving, and, like, apparently they're gonna be, like, making points, so, like, apparently that's the next predicted spot at, like, 10 p.m. Southeast Asia discrimination, classic American. God damn it, you got me! As an American, I have no... I am just blind to the Southeast Asia, potentially even the Asia. You could tell me... You could just tell me, like, oh, I'm just, you know, southeast of, southwest of the North Pacific Ocean, and I'd be like, Papua New Guinea? I wouldn't know. Also, why is there this long fucking line here, and then the fuck happened here? Why is there... what happened here? Why is it, like, such a straight line, and then we get to here, and it's like, alright, we're gonna need to do some geographic, like, you know, adjustments there. Like, what's there? Hang on. Let me just go back a few. Let's get back to a point where there isn't, like, you know, a huge amount of fucking clouds. There we go. Well, there's still a huge amount of fucking clouds, but... it looks like that's a mountain region, perhaps? Hang on. Let's keep rolling back. Keep rolling back. Till, like... Alright, hang on. Let's just... Alright, so noon. Come on. Give me a day where it's not filled with... Oh, it only goes back as far as September 23rd. Gosh darn it. Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, actually, that looks to be a good one. So yeah, so it looks like it could be some, like, geographic elements, but it's hard to say. And then that's us live. Good gravy! What the fuck is happening here? Oh hey, McDonald's has an island. I didn't know McDonald's had an island. The French, Southern, and Antarctic lands. And then we've got... How is it that we have, like, no imagery of Antarctica? Why is that... Why is that not a thing? Why do we not have imagery of Antarctica? Heck, out of my range at the moment. Sorry to hear that, Arya. You just need to save money up. That's what you need to do. That's what people do with money in the furry community. Is they don't save for the next home. They don't save for a child. They don't save for a trip to Japan. You know what they do? They save money for their favorite artist. They do amazing things. Grant, I'm a bonk you. What do you mean? We save money for amazing artists. That's what we do. Because we have to gift them and cherish. Ah! Ow. I'm nervous for that cyclone. What? This one here? This one over here that's gonna, you know, cross over, get relatively close to us Thursday evening, and then, like, Friday morning hits landfall, and then we just have this moment of, what the fuck do we do? Yeah, I think we're gonna be alright. Australia isn't that dumb with their weather. They're kind of aware that there's a global warming thing going off, and they're normally doing what they can to avoid this kind of crazy weather climates. So hey, we might be prepared. To some degree. Lord knows I am. I've got like 10 liters of... I lean forward as if somehow you're gonna see me do that action. But I've got like 10 liters of water just sitting in my fridge. I got a bathtub that I can fill up tomorrow evening if it sounds like it's gonna be really fucking hectic. Like, I have all... Like, I'm gonna be pretty good for the next 3 to 5 days. Maybe even a week. And what's more is everyone's like, oh, what are you gonna do about food? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do about food. Breakfast, it's a coffee-flavored shake. Lunch is a vanilla-flavored shake. Dinner, I might shake it up a bit and either go for a chocolate-flavored shake or a caramel-flavored shake. I have so many options with my shake diet, and it's fantastic. I am going to be possibly stuck at home and just having nothing but shakes as part of my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But hey, on the bright side, it gives me time to yoink refs. Yoink 'em. Sure does feel that way sometimes, to be honest. What, the, being nervous about a cyclone? Yeah. So yeah, it can be. I know a guy who's dropped thousands of dollars on a furry artist before. Me. I've dropped $1,000 on a furry artist before. Did you think I somehow, like, was able to, you know, impart some grand wisdom onto Wolf before I sucked him into oblivion? And that's how I got this amazing zebra model? No. You can't suck off Wolf and get a free 3D model. What you need to do is you need to do what every artist doesn't tell you about. And it's a really great tip, okay? What you need to do is you need to bribe the artist. Alright? You bribe them with money. And, you know, there's gonna be like, oh, you know, oh, like, I could do this art for you, but it could only be of this quality. In which case, you just whip out the wallet, and you start, like, pulling out even more bills, and you go like, oh, my bribes can be so grand. And, you know, there are some artists out there who, while you're bribing them, they'll even be like, oh, I have a little chart that tells you, like, what you could expect from me if you bribe me. It's fantastic. Who knew bribing artists could get you art? Bullying artists get you banned. Remember this, chat. If you bully an artist, you don't get drawn pregnant, you just get banned. Ding dong. Also, who the fuck is this? Nita the bear. Oh. But they're not playing anything. Darn. My goodness, you were not kidding. Dazzy, Monster Hunter Wilds. Kaisi Wolf, Monster Hunter Wilds, while playing it with Mr. Snipey Wolf. Kofu ain't playing Monster Hunter Wilds, but they're thinking about Monster Hunter Wilds. Thinking about Monster Hunter. Barcode, Monster Hunter Wilds. Mega, something else. Race Solar is doing art, good for them. Ding, dong. But yeah, and then these are a list of the permitted foods I'm allowed to have, so that's why I keep that little thingy-diggy there. Don't bully me, I'll draw you inside out. Oh, that That's worse than pregnant. Inside Out? Ah! Ah! I don't have Wilds, but I do want to play it sometime. Fair enough. It's like, look, it's a Capcom game. Capcom have been going very fucking ham into their IPs most recently. Now, the most recent Monster Hunter Wilds, I will be real with you, isn't really optimized well, okay? It's not really doing... It's not doing too hot, let me tell you. Like, hang on a second. Let me... You know what? We're gonna do this. Fuck it. Ding. Close that thingy-majiggy there. And then Monster Hunter Wilds. Give me a second. Get ready for this stream to have a moment and not know how to process things. Launch for both lined up, but yeah. It was made for consoles first, PC second. Whenever you're dealing with a multi-platform game, that is normally the ideal order of operations. The reason why is very simple. When you're building for a console, there is only one set of specs that you need to build for. And the PC that you are, or the dev build that you're given, is given very explicitly of, hey, this is the extra parts that you get, and they are used so then that way you can do debugging while in the game and such. It's on x86 architecture, and the reason for that is so then that way it's easier for the developers to, like, you know, do updates and what have you here and there. Alright, hang on a second. I need to swap this thingy-majiggy so you can... Monster Hunter Wilds. Bam. Boom. Get ready. I can already see... Let's see how this goes. This game uses an autosave feature. Yep, I'm familiar with that. Room for a fellow hunter? Look at this right now. It is having a moment. And also, this is, I don't think this is me at the highest settings either. Am I... Oh, hang on, I need to pause the music. There we go. So yeah, there's my hunter as well. And, oh, spoilers. There's a river in a swamp or a forest, and it's just filled with fucking red. I'm pretty sure it's blood. They won't confirm it for me, and it's really annoying. But yeah, let's have a look. Options. Can I run the benchmark from here? So yeah, so right now I've got it frame cap. Look at this. I have all the fucking RAM I need, but, ooh, yeah, uncapped frame rate, background frame rate can be capped, automatically enable HDR, which I'm not, NVIDIA Reflex is not on. Here it is. So I have it set to the highest settings for cutscenes, and then I have DLSS turned on. This is the annoying thing. If I turn this fucker off, get ready to see some like... And what's more is, this is me with, like, you know, texture? Yeah. So, there is a number of, like, texture filtering. So... Oh my goodness. Medium, there's a difference. High to highest, there isn't a difference. Fur quality, I feel like argumentatively, like, this is not a good example. I feel like if they wanted, like, I feel like this needs to be a thing. When you're presenting, like, options like these, I understand sometimes you just need a close-up still image, but in something such as fur quality, give us a video, give us a GIF. Show us what the fur looks like in motion, because I bet you... Also, what in the world is going on with my... Never mind. I did digging. It's not. It's actually residue from a monster that Wait, what? To be honest, I'm fine. I get 60 or even just 30 frames. Will say, I also heard that they have it where the title screen changes based on your progress in the game or something. Yep, your title screen changes based off the progress. Oh, I will... Okay, you know what? Lowest for the sky, because... Can you tell a difference from here? Can you tell a difference between the highest quality for the sky and the clouds versus the lowest quality for the sky and the clouds? The part about the lag comes from misspelling in the resolution code. I've heard of that as well. That I did hear about. And also, what? Hello? Control. I didn't touch anything. Go back in there, thank you. Get back in there, thank you very much. Like, I can see a difference, but, like, I'll be real with you. Like, this looks like diminishing returns. Like, if you want an idea, like, you know what I need to do? Probably, hang on a second. Enhance. And then we move up to the right. So then that, like, and then enhance once again. All right, you ready for this? So this is the lowest. Low. Medium. High. Highest. Lowest. Also, why did it... Lowest... highest. Lowest, highest. Lowest, highest. Lowest, highest. I am going to be real with you. Sorry, I'm too big for the camera. I'm gonna need to move this up a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna be real with you. Also, why is there misinputs on this game? Like, well, look at, alright, I'm gonna just, controller is not, like, having the cable, like, sitting across the keyboard. It's just gonna sit here. Hang on. Without touching anything, I bet you this thing is gonna, like, you know, do a weird nonsense. Also, this thing is telling me that changing the quality of the clouds would, like, apparently take, like, 2 out of 3 difficulty on the GPU. Yep, there we go. Does a little clicky. I bet you it's gonna click back into it shortly. I bet you there's gonna be a click in, and I am going to be very, very upsetties when there is a clicky in, because it means that for some reason this game, or one of my peripherals, is picking up on a misinput. Honestly, you find it funny that a single misspell can cause a good bit of lag? Okay, I have seen the tweet. I've seen the tweet that apparently the config.ini file has super resolution misspelled. I don't think that is, like, going to be the biggest reason for the frame. Like, you're not going to change from, like, 40 frames a second to 60 frames a second, but I reckon you will change from, like, 30 frames a second to, like, 33 frames a second. I reckon it does do a bit of a bump, but it's not doing as big of a bump. Oh, there we go again. So, just, what the fuck? What is it thinking I'm doing on this keyboard or, you know, computer? What do you think I'm doing, game? Also, I'm moving this thing back to, like, seated mode. But yeah, the clouds, like, there's barely a difference, like, across them, especially from this zoom. Like, I'm gonna keep it to low. Meanwhile, like, this one makes dramatic difference. Like, this one I understand going on to high. Grass sway, sure, let's go for that. Wind simulation, fine. Yep, sure, let's keep with that. Oh, here we go. So, this is the lowest. Get ready for this. I didn't click out of it. What the fuck, game? Low. Medium. High. Adjust the image quality for sand, snow, and other types of terrain. Like, high to highest, there's diminishing returns. There's a very slight difference. Yeah, you're talking about... Hang on a sec, let me go back to the clouds. You're talking about, like, You're You're talking about, like, the weird, like, half-haze cloud? Yeah, it's not... Here's the thing. You're not going to be staring at the sky in this game. You're going to be staring at the ground more often than not, or the creatures. Like, this one here, I feel like is kind of doing a bit of a trick on you because of, like, the bumps. Like, sure, there's a proper difference here and here because there's, like, there's shadows and what have you, but... Game, I didn't go out. Why are you like this? Yeah, I'll stick to medium here. Sure, keep the water effects. All right. This is the one that I feel like is... Like, I feel like this is the one that is, like, the act... Like, I want to see how much of this actually affects the graphical look. Because I'll keep it to highest, but you see how there's, like, a... I'm trying to see if there's a good example. Yeah, you see with the waterfalls? Hang on. Zoom in. You see with the waterfalls how it has, like, this weird, like, anti-aliasy sort of, like, transparency going on? Where it's almost like, you know, it's trying to, like, show and not show based off of a checkerboard. Like, I feel like that's because of render distance. Because of this thing here. I already have it set to fairly high. Nope, never mind. My thingamadiggy was... Fuck it. Actually, hang on a second. Let's go back to the thingamadiggy and then... Options. So render distance is at the highest. This was to affect shadows. Shadows were not too huge of a concern for me. So I was gonna go, so what? Just high, distant shadows, sure. Shadows from a shadow distance. Yeah, I just had it set to medium, because again, it's not important. Medium is fine. Contact shadows, I think, is good. I think that's actually, like, a viable... Like, this is a viable setting. Oh, god fucking damn it, game. Oh, gallery. Hang on. What's in gallery? Oh, it wants me to go into a thing. Nope. Staring at the sky is how you got splat in Monster Hunter unless the monster is flying. Yeah. Ambient oscillation. Yeah, if you have it off, it doesn't look good. Adjust the quality of shadows in areas where light is obstructed. Yeah, that one's fine. Bloom. I think it's... Yeah, I think bloom is okay to have at low. Motion blur. Okay, video games. Stop putting motion blur in your video game. Motion blur is a weird stylized choice that only works when you are somehow... Like, actually, you know what? Fuck it. Motion blur. Don't work. The only reason it's worthwhile is that you're not going at a speed that, you know, that you're not going at a speed that can help, you know, denote speed. That's fine in animations and what have you. But when you're playing a video game, you don't want motion blur for the aesthetic. Yeah, vignette took that off. This is being forced on because of ray tracing for some reason. Screen space separable subsurface scattering. Oh, maybe that's the thing that's doing the weird thingy-madiggies. Depth of field, sure. Volumetric fog, sure. Variable refresh rate. Reduce effects in shader rendering load by processing shaders less evenly. Let's turn that shit off. Ding, 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 ding. Arachnophobia. Oh, yeah, by the by, this arachnophobia setting, absolutely a bullshit. It only affects the small monsters. It does not affect the big ones. You know who wants the arachnophobia existence? Someone that is going to have to go through that one major quest where you fight a giant fucking spider. Motion sickness reduction? Nah, fuck that. Yep. Crossplay is enabled. Do not anonymize names. Yeah, no, fuck that. I'm gonna be playing with names on. Close call, a small step, the desert oasis, a ferocious foe. Oh, I didn't get a chance to see this one. Hang on. I want to see this one. What is this one about? I love that there's a gallery mode. Oh, I can see my frame rate dropped at that point there. It went from 50 to 42. Let's see how this goes. So this isn't a pre-rendered cutscene. This is a, Alright, let's see. They're cooking the meat! I'm noticing it sometimes. I can't hit pause.
Oh no, you don't!
I can't hit pause to like properly demonstrate it, but there are some moments where I'm definitely noticing that the game is trying to do like a depth of field thing, or like a blur by doing cross hatching.
Get on! Hurry!
Are we allowed to?
We can talk about it later. You have to follow them. Thanks,
Thank
Isai.
you.
Find somewhere safe.
Yeah.
Meet up later.
There's like, I don't know, like, I feel like there are moments that I just, like, the technical aspect of the render makes me want to, like, it kind of pulls me out, and I'm like, I get into analysis mode of, okay, what don't I like about it? Because I don't think there's an issue with the animation. There we go. No, the meat!
We'll take it from here. Go, 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 go.
I love how Alma's there. She's just like, go, go. She's just... Quimit. That's a basilisk, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. How did that look for everyone? Was that okay? Oh yeah, this motherfucker right here. This motherfucker does not get the arachnophobia assistance treatment. You know what they do in this one? They just leave it be. For whatever reason, they just leave it be. The absolute insanity. Alright, lobby search. Hunter friend search. Also, did I set my thingy-majiggy to, refresh? Yes, I did. Cool. Awesome. Dazarus. I'll join unable to join lobby. Why the fuck not? Alright, hang on. Lobby and use alphanumeric. Alright. Ding. Dong. Did he put a thingy-majiggy? No, he didn't. Okay, cancel that. Squad? No, I don't have a squad. Alright, I'll just go recommended lobby. It's gonna throw me somewhere. I forgot whether you said you'd be open to others joining in. I'm very on it. Here's the thing is, I have no idea how to add new friends. All of those were because of people adding me. I still don't know what I need to do in order to, like, you know, add, you know, other people to my thing. Alright, new quests available. Welcome to the thingy-majiggy. So, like, how would I go about adding more people? Like, do I go to communication? There's, like, invite a friend. There's the invitation list. Yeah, like, that's it. So, communication, recently viewed. So, there's communication. Auto shout-outs. Oh my goodness, we get to modify the things. Hang on a second. Sub-menu. Edit text. Will be visible to others. Yes. I don't know. There we go. Alright, when you set a trap. When you set a ball... Oh, okay, here we go. Ding, edit text. Terrorist. Bomb planted. Wait, hang on. Ding. Bomb has been planted. There we go. Alright, hang on. So, yeehaw. When you set a trap, I just set up a trap. Terrorist. When a normal impairs movement. Oh, no, hang on. Ding. Edit text. So an easier way for me is to invite them to a party and add them from there. Okay, but how do you, like, add them from, like, a like, let's say, for example, you're in a lobby, they're not in that lobby, and they give you, like, their hunter code or something like that. How would you add it then? Like, how would you do it there if you're not in the same lobby? Alright, now I need to think of a thing for the normal... Bruh, I'm hit. There we go. Ding. When you're pinned down, when you fire... Eats... Eat my farts. When you're using a... Okay, this one I know. Bravo 6. Going dark. When you're pinned down. I think if it's like... There we go. Eat my farts. When you're using a luring pod. Didn't know luring pods were a thing. Actually, I'll leave it to just the classic. When a teammate heals you, this is covered. This is covered under my insurance, right? Question mark. This is covered under insurance. There we go. This is covered under insurance. When you faint. Fade to black. Fade into black. Hunt her down. When someone else mounts a monster. Aww. I want it to be on top. Taking a peek. You found the function? Nice. Alright, hang on. I'm just doing a few more auto shout-out things. Okay. So when a teammate buffs me, it's so tempting to do something stupid like nice cock bro or something, but no. Thank you for the... It's not gonna be thank you for the support. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be... Boost. When beginning a power clash... Rock, paper... Fuck it, knife. Not fuck it, knife. What's a power clash? When engaging a power clash. Actually, I don't know what a power clash is just yet, so I don't have anything clever. When picking up a set trap. Not gonna pick that up. When using a Farcaster. I'm noping out of here. BRB. When putting a monster to sleep with an attack. Selfie time. When a photo is taken. Hashtag. It's so tempting to be like hashtag GrantZeebs, but no, hashtag. Hashtag Hunter Life. When firing a paint pod. Nah, we won't do anything. Alright, so. So communication. So communication section. Then you go to member list. And then you go to... Okay, so then you do hunter search. Oh. That makes sense. How about you can follow people? Alright. Monster guide for the large monsters. Yeah, fuck that thing. Alright, what did you want? Shipment of rations has come in. Limited bounties have been updated. Complete 5 quests. Cool.
So long for now.
Head to a pop-up camp.
Yes.
Post/join quests. Firestarter, beware, the thingamadiggy. Thank you for the hyper himbo. I greatly appreciate it. Bugging in the desert. Fuck it.
Bigger!
Let's just do the quick thingamadiggies. Let's get into a feels. Also, what in the world? Back and shoulders?
Bigger!
Bigger! Bigger!
Bigger.
Bigger, chat!
Bound to be
Bigger.
a lot of them. I got your back.
Bigger!
Now commencing
Bigger.
quest by order of the guild.
Alrighty, ding.
Bigger! Bigger!
Bigger!
Bigger!
Bigger.
Alrighty. Thank you for getting me even bigger, chat. I am almost 3 meters tall. Oh, hang on. What the... What are those?
There. That's our target. Calm the mind. And focus.
There we go. Oh my god, my guy is having a bit of a time. There we go. Get fucked.
What do you think we'll find?
For now, I have to run, sadly. I need to start and get ready for some stuff, keep safe, and give all the quick bye and cuddles and move on. Not to worry there, Warhorse Indra. Thank you so much for coming along. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for contributing to... Wait, was it you? No, it was... You didn't... My goodness, Warhorse Indra, you didn't contribute to me being bigger? Don't you love me? Don't you love the big Zeebs? No contributions to the bigger? Oh, so disappointed in you. Thank you, Lyco. Thank you, Omega. They're helping me get bigger. Arya, thank you as well for contributing. I very much appreciate it. Hi there, Jack. Welcome to the stream. How does the stream look to you? Does it look good?
Nani?
What happened to the Duck Goose Game? I finished it. We're doing something else entirely different, like Monster Hunter Wilds. We're gonna see how it works. Look at it go. Yes, we're back in the desert. My Firefly. Oop. Saraket. Just, you know, do it. There we go. Alrighty, I need to get somehow up there.
Yep.
There we go. 3, 2, 1. Two, 1. There we go. Getting back into the groove of things, getting some cheap materials. You're on your way home-ish, but I'm gonna go see the doc again. You're following up from last week's rounds of meds. Ah, okay. You still dying? Is that why it's happening? Did you know the Smith girl is Little Miss Forge from Monster Hunter 4? Never played Monster Hunter 4, so I have no clue, like, what that means for, you know, the hunter. Alrighty. Ooh, hang on. Let's have a look.
All ready when you are.
Oh, there's another one. Give me the carcass. There might be something good. Alrighty, now we just need one more, wherever the fuck that may be. Oh, hello. Ah, it's just a silly crystal. I love that it's giving me little indicators for the guys without having to, you know, go too far for them or anything like that.
My partner.
There we go. Pick all this nonsense up. Oh, you sneaky bug. What a sneaky bug. Just, you know, doing that. Some of the characters are returning from Monster Hunter 4. Nice. Strat is spin to win. Yeah. I'm fine with spin to win. Also, look at my little palico. I have not done any crazy, like, you know, designs to the palico. I just went with a default design. I don't think too hard about this stuff. I don't have a cat of my own. Alright, so that was sent all to the box. We got more guild points. Alright, let's see where it takes me. Alright, so now I'm here.
Hey.
Let's get to work. Alright,
What are we making today?
so we can't do any new improvements to the frog. We don't know the upgrade materials for the Hope weapon. Iron Hammer, meanwhile, we don't have anything for that direction either. For the Jail Hammer, we can get Paralysis, which would actually be pretty good, to be real with you. But we need Laha Brina Claws, whatever that is. This guy I kind of like. Then we got a bone tree, which we could, you know, change, so we can upgrade that so it gives us focus and attack. But it doesn't give us any other kind of... Yeah, we haven't unlocked too much of the tree.
Anything catch your eye?
Oh, would you look at that? We can upgrade the... Let's just upgrade it to
Alrighty.
Hope 2.
Perfection.
Perfection. Did you remember the kids show Bear in the Big Blue House? I'm familiar with the Bear in the Big Blue House. What about it? During a Halloween episode, Bear actor found a random gun prop on set and chased the kids of the property with the... What the fuck? Oh my god, the actor was unhinged. So we got the Iron Beater. Alright, so that would change from that there. And then we've got an upgrade list. Interesting. So that would turn into Dragon. So that's the Bone Kukri. I'll be real, the Bone Kukri reminds me of the Jaggeris from Worlds. Ooh, that one looks pretty. I'll be real, this does look pretty. So La Habrea, we're gonna need to get a few things from.
Something in mind?
Alright, so... Okay, so this can give me flinch free, which would be good.
Yo.
Oh, you can change pigments. Okay. So yeah, because right now... What is it that I have on right now? Entomologist. Which... Yeah, so that just makes it... They won't be destroyed, allowing them to be carved. So... That one I can easily, like, you know, take off and replace. I will be real, I do like this hat.
Ready to get to work?
So we will put on this hat. Give me your hunter ID so you can add me. Oh, okay, yeah, hang on a second. Just let me go through the nonsense. Wait, didn't I give it to you already? I swear I gave it to you in the past.
Perfection.
Ding dong. Or you can just give me yours. I think you gave me yours at one point, and I was like, there it is. All right, hang on a second. Yes, we're going to equip that now. And then we got Pigarills? What the fuck do Pigarills do? Oh, you need fins, and they give you water resistance. Ooh, Brinna! Oh my god, the fucking fashion of you! Giving me paralysis resistance. And it's part of the Neoetron alert. Oh my goodness.
Yo.
So, recovery up, and then paralysis resistance. Okay, so that's what it's doing for me.
Come back anytime.
I'm out right now. I'll accept you once I'm home-ish. Alrighty, hang on a second. So someone has told me how to do this. So I go to members list. I go to hunter search, and then BK3636D. Found a hunter. Jack. Send friend request. There we go. I figured it out. Oh my god, I've got 3 levels of flinch free? How the fuck did I get that by accident? Hang on a second. Hang on. That doesn't sound... Like, am I wasting, like, thingamadiggies already? Hang on. Transfer items from the item pouch. Alright, so we're putting use away. We're fine for keeping use. Change equipment. Alright. So charge up. So speed sharpening because of the hope. So this is giving me 1 point of flinch free. This gives me speed eating. Okay, so the helmet and the braces are giving me flinch free. Okay, so yeah, so I'm basically wearing the entire Quimaris set, and I just have the mail for some random speed eating is what I'm doing. Noted. Excuse me. Alright. Alright, let's have a look at some... Oh, there's an event quest. Oh, but I can't join the event. Alright. And then there are lobby members doing a shit ton of quests I have no fucking idea about. Alright. Quest difficulty, 1 star, please. Slimy situation. Beware the chupacabra. We're just gonna go right into that one. You sent the big blue house gun blooper in your media and clips channel. Thank you, Wild Saber. Nice. May I give you mine as well? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Alright, there we go.
Have another hut with no surprises today. A supply shipment's come in. Hope you find something useful.
Alrighty. Yep. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Jump. Yay! Yeah, this frog's gonna get abused by all the different peeps. It's not gonna be a quick thingy-madiggies. Can I put it here? I don't mind who adds me. Yeah, go ahead. Not a problem. Where's that god bug? Click. Thank you very much. I will add that to the thingy-madiggies. Alright, so we got certificates and what have you. Yay! Our Palico leveled up during all that. Inflicted stuns, and I got no highlights. Damn. Thought I'd get something, but I didn't. I guess you don't get... You get nothing for nothing. Or, what's the... Wait, the phrase goes, you don't get something for nothing, I think is the phrase. Alright, member list. Hunter, search, Control V, enter. Found a hunter, Arya. Jesus Christ, I'm not yet on a hunter rank. Send friend request. People have been absolutely fucking fanging it through this thing. Also, I missed out on picking up the whatsamahoozies again. Idiot. Hang on. I keep forgetting to, like, you know, pick up the whatsamahoozies when I have the chance. Ooh, hello, honey. Nope. Alright, so that's if we wanted to double back. That's probably if we wanted to, like, head to the desert. There we go. Yay, hunter friends. Alright, blue mushroom, mine. I guess we don't have authorization to hunt that thing. Oop.
How many years has it been since I met Nota? At first, he wasn't interested in anything. Just sad. Eventually, he came out of his shell, but you could see he was still holding so much in. I didn't want him to think we're not on his side, but I'm afraid that he's rushing into this too soon.
Oh, butterfly. Hang on, let me try and get the butterfly. There we go.
What you think we'll find?
I don't know if this is nauseating for people. You're saving that? I don't know what you're gonna be saving. Alright, can I get the bees? No.
I'll ride with you.
Huh? Something's going on at the camp.
What the fuck? Thieves! You're stealing my shit!
Oh dear. They must be telling us to follow them. Allow me. Greetings to you. Sorry that we got off on the wrong...
Oh no, that's something important.
You okay?
My baby! Do whatever they say!
Grumpy looking ass.
Let's follow them. I'm sure they're harmless. Or I hope so.
Alrighty. Ooh. Can I grab the hornets from here? No, I cannot.
They're gathering honey.
Ah.
Ours. You respect.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm sorry for losing my cool back there, but that was a bona fide late anthro-duodecimic groveling idol. Once I knew they were holding Marianne hostage, I was powerless to resist. Oh, but I was worried about our other supplies too.
Yay, sleeping herbs. I need sleeping herbs for the tranquilizer.
Look at that. They're everywhere.
We've got friends.
The fuck are they doing over there?
That looks fun.
They're playing in the river.
There's a boulder on that tree.
No go near. We big squish.
They're feeding.
Big danger. Bad.
Oh, easy to face off against. What the hell are these little guys on about?
mushroom?
You're foraging for mushrooms. They really get around.
Really get around.
That structure looks ancient. I wonder how long ago it was built.
Yeah, I don't think they care. Ooh.
Oh, this is beautiful.
I love how she's like, "Oh, this is so important, Grant. Are you seeing all this?" And I'm just using my fucking hook claw, just going, "Thwip, mine. Thwip, mine. Thwip, mine. Thwip, 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 thwip."
You come too.
I guess we go in here.
Oh, I can't use my thwip. Can't use my thwip here.
Ha-ha! Grovel and feel humblings, for this is our great Wyvere. Wyvere, our city.
Cool.
I mean, this forest belongs to us Wudwuds. Mind your P's and Q's.
Wud.
What an unusual eldritch tongue they speak. And yet, it feels so fresh and relevant.
Any British person talking to an American on the internet.
We mean you no harm. Would you give us back our tiny house?
We no give back. We have claimed it as tribute.
Tribooty.
A great menace is making the troubles by our honey mound.
Tribooty.
Its pink fur is big, stylish, and cool. But its gases are of a stinknacious variety. Chase away Big Menace, and in our generosities, we shall return your puny hovel.
Pink fur. You think it's a Congalala?
Sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. So they're called Wudwuds, huh? They make it sound like they've been here forever.
Eric mentioned seeing Congalalas in the south of the forest. We've certainly got no shortage of them back west. And now we know there's a healthy population.
What, the Congalalas?
Okay, let's move it.
They're pink. They're pink and stinky. How bad can it be?
Where do you think the Wudwuds learned to speak our language? They have a very
Can't be that bad.
vocabulary.
Alrighty. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's see if we can get the... Thank you.
For us to be here.
There we go, there we go, there we go. Excellent. Alrighty. So they're down this way. Whee!
Do you hear that?
I'm guessing they're up there.
Snoring. Move as quietly as you can.
I love how they say move as quietly as you can and they won't let me crouch. Like, what the fuck, game? Let me crouch.
There it is.
It's a monkey. It's a monkey with a hippo's face.
No, don't!
You hate this monkey?
Sorry you paid me to say.
Is it as
look,
bad as
it's
Rajang?
Grant.
Is it as bad as Rajang? Because I'm pretty sure Rajang is like a lightning monkey Goku thing. How is that monkey not... Oh my god, monkeys. Idiots.
Wake it up!
You'll see why. Oh, don't. Oh, you. Oh, that's disgusting. Serious? This is a fucking comic relief monster. Oh, look, water.
Nimble as a cat, fierce as a cat.
Oh, there we go. Get fucked. Cha-cha, real smooth. Get fucked. Alright, cool, so... Oh, don't you fucking dare. Oh, god damn it. Move, 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 move. I should have known it was gonna do something like... How did I not get hit by that? Alright, avoid the... There we go. There we go.
Got it on the ground. Power up, activate.
Ah, god damn it. I should have not. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Get moving, get moving, get moving. Alright, what do I have that can... Sure. Flash pot it.
Find it! Watch out!
2, 1. Oh no. Hit you right in the cheek.
Looks like he's
Eat
moving
that
to a new
fat
area.
ass. You're a humble knight. Blades are your style. Alright, let me just fire an SOS flare just so then that way there's other people can join. Alright, here we go. Come on, Sarah Ket. Thank you. Oh, there's multiples. Okay.
God!
Oh, cool. I thought he was gonna.
This ought to put a dent in it.
Oh, Jesus. There we go. Alright. Thank you for the hyper
Bigger.
himbo there.
Bigger! Bigger. 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 Bigger.
Oh, damn it. Missed it. There it is.
I'll see you back here.
Gotcha. Alright, looks like he's having... Thank you for making me even bigger. I'm now over 3 meters tall. Ooh, hello. Slope.
Good to have you.
Yes! Yes, draw finisher. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
You did it!
Ah, charge blade, I see.
We got this.
Make sure to grab anything a monster leaves behind.
Come on, Sarah Cat. There we go. Was that you doing the paralysis then? Don't you dare be digging up random nonsense. Slowly making my way there. There we go. Nice. Yay! Thank you for the help. Oh. I thought I took my weapon off, but I didn't. All right, there we go. There we go. Hi there, Code. Why does everyone tag me in clips of them and say it's me? Oh, you mean this? I don't tag you in the clips with the monkey. I tag you in the one with the. Remember the frog back in Elder's Recess, the blue thingy-majiggy that eats the rocks? I'd tag you in those is what I would do, Code. Also, hi, Code. Welcome to the stream. Also, hang on a second. I need to alter my thingamajiggies. There we go. So we put that there. We do that there. So yeah, I'm fighting the ape as you... So yeah, I fought the ape. There we go. Pick you up. Hi there, Kiaru. I got done with the Goose Game and I said, fuck it, let's do a little bit of Monster Hunter. Look at my dude. Ah, Kiaru is the one that sends the clips with the monkey to Code. Eight minutes to get that guy out of the way. Yeah, that's alright. And then there's Arya. So yeah, Arya's from the chat. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I got quite a lot of parts broken.
Let's report back to the Wudwoods.
Alright, so we're heading back to the Wudwoods. These fellas.
I heard all about your great exploitations in driving off the Pink Menace.
What can you tell us about the other monsters in the forest? Ever seen a big white monster come through?
White monster. White monster. You don't mean that.
Cookie for Drac Dragon! Here's your cookie, Drac Dragon.
It drags shiny, not white things, too. It shows up when the sky falls out. Very scarifying.
Want a party so you got no randos? Nah, it's okay. I definitely want to play with friends and such like that. I'll probably make it like a weekend thing. So long as I don't lose out on power and internet, I might be able to make this like a weekend thing. Because I don't have to work on Friday. I'm going for a hair... And so long as there, you know, isn't a terrible cyclone wind, I might be able to get a haircut. Who knows if I will or if I won't. And then Saturday morning is, you know, the normal Final Fantasy stream. I'm going to join into the VR chat that Unnamed has going with, like, community, with, like, Solo and a few other peeps. And then that leaves me with my Sunday and Monday open.
Where did you learn our language? You speak it so well.
Oh, you are most perceptious. I indeed am the greatest Wudwood linguiniast in the forest.
Linguiniest.
We have spoken your tongue since times of old, when we served as water purifiers. However, that is no longer. Today we use your speech for transactioning with the desert folk.
Ah.
Oh, so you have contact with the people of Kunafa?
Yes, they pay tribute to enter the forest, and we
Tribute.
grant them passage.
Tribute sounds so silly.
Generous, yes.
Can we have our puny hovel back now?
But of course, friend. The Wudwood's forest is now your forest, too.
You're now able to set up pop-up camps. Find suitable camp and locales to set them up. Quattro flies can be found flooding around places. After you discover a potential camp, you can set up a pop camp there by talking to support or the Mouser at the Windward
There's
Plains.
too many lopsided transactions between us. You have any belts to trade?
Lopsided transactions.
For you, say, a Doshakama pelt. Brown fur, big fangs, ridges on its forehead.
Wait, the Doshagama has like...
No, fur is rough. And besides, brown fur everywhere. No need. Too many in our forest now. Them and their big kahuna. Ooh, you don't want to get messy with that one.
I suppose we'll be going then.
Until our next wheelings and dealings.
Cool dialogue there, actually, honestly.
So, the Doshakama must be traveling in a pack, and they have a leader. In numbers, monsters become emboldened. And with a strong-willed leader?
Ah.
We'd better follow up.
Yeah. Let's head back to camp.
Oh, you're back. Good. We've been managing here, but now that base camp is up and running, little problems are cropping up left and right.
Is that so?
Good to see if anyone needs a hand, but that's what us hunters are here for, right?
You can now accept side between... between guild assignments. Talk to people in each of the region to hear their requests. You can also check requests on the detailed map.
I don't suppose it would hurt to see what...
Yay! We're still under the main chapter, it seems. And then we got, you know, a few good things. Got a few points. Alrighty. The investigation continues. Alright, what's
Hey,
your
Hunter,
quest?
Got a minute?
Hey, come here.
Because from now on, all you gotta do is ask, and I'll give you solid recommendations. Oh. Okay.
Supplies.
That's cool.
I'm gonna take a cat nap.
Meow. Got a proper covered from A to Z. If I'm ever not around, the support test can handle anything you need. They'll patch it through to me, and I'll see it done. To manage your camp. In addition, it is important to consider safety level when setting up in easily found or vulnerable to attacks. Destroyed camps will be repaired over time, but if you spend guild coins, you can have them repaired immediately. Build, repair. Okay. And...
Howdy.
Wait, alright.
Work for me?
Who the fuck is that?
Ready to head out?
Gonna go see the dog, but if you're still playing, I'd like to join later. We'll see. I'm probably only gonna be like another 10 minutes or so, to be real with you. Because I got, like, sure, I'm working from home tomorrow, but I got work the next day still. And, yeah. Working from home is a very, like, mentally tiring thing for me, personally. Oh. What are they doing? I'm guessing that's an alpha. Yep. An alpha Doshiguma. Very threatening. Okay. And that was our camp, I suppose.
This is what happens when monsters have a leader. They're not afraid of us anymore.
What happened?
Some Doshagama happened.
This is really getting out of hand. What do you plan to do?
Warn the people of Kunafa.
And we've made some headway, too. If the White Wraith is up, perhaps we leave that for later. Warning...
Olivia, can I go? I can't bear to think what happened to my village could happen to Isai and...
Nata. To what end does a hunter exist? An answer you have to find for yourself.
We should hurry.
Mm-hmm. There is not going to be a huge focus on dialogue, I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to be listening to it, and then I'm just going to be like, yep, cool. More monster fighting, please.
It's nearly Sandtide. You should take shelter somewhere...
Isai, listen to me. The Doshagama have formed a pack. We have to speak to the Elder and convince her to evacuate...
Wait, what?
This is serious. You've got to believe us.
All right, I believe you. But the Elder... Wait, I bet Zato could convince her. He went to the Oasis.
The Oasis. Got it. Thanks.
Be careful out there, Hunter.
Alright, we got a new mission. So
Help! Zato's in trouble!
What's wrong?
We were attacked by a horde of sand leviathans.
It must be the monsters. I'll take these two back to the village.
On it.
Alrighty. there's probably going to be a sandstorm or something like that when we finally get to him.
Over there!
Also, the hat is just so fucking dope. Does he have a spear? Yeah, he does. He has a spear. What's up with that? Okay, that was me that did that.
Why are you here? You can't do this alone! We need to shake them off! Follow me!
Too many of them.
I will draw their ire! Cover me! You got it! Be careful! Here it comes! Watch out for their mucus! Be ready! If we can make it to the rocks, we may lose them! Oh no! Quicksand!
Ah!
You okay?
It's just like the Wildspire Wastes.
I think I can manage.
Let's get away from here.
As I feared, it picked up our scent.
I'll handle it. You find someplace safe.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Incoming!
Watch out.
Up quick.
Alright, I'm gonna need to get out of this area. It's not conducive to what I'm trying to do.
Should be safe from monsters here.
Oh, lol. Okay. Didn't mean to go that way.
Lines are flashing before me here.
Got it on the ground. Looks like it's moving to a new area.
Alrighty. Flare. And then...
Sorry to leave you like that. Where's Zato?
Safe. He's taking cover.
Okay, good. Now we can focus on the Valahara.
What the hell was that?
Hey, Ugly! Over here!
Find a good footing and steady terrain. Fortunately, the same goes for monsters.
Ooh, okay, so that's a bit of a dangerous move. Alright, head over here. Come on. Do it, do it, do it, do it. There we go.
I'll see you back at kid.
Go. Oh boy.
Looks like you got your hands full. Whatever way I can.
Ah. Two more.
I got it.
There we go.
You did it!
Damn it, don't have any null berries.
Opportunity strikes.
Okay. Charge up again. Alright, so far doing better than... So far, so good. there we go.
Good luck to you.
That was quick. You came in, Arya, and you just absolutely decimated them. Nice work. Good work there. Alright, is there anything else around this area? Oop. Rock burst. Another flash. So there's the flash bug I missed. Anything else? Another exquisite fossil, thank you. And then... Nah, that looks it. Good pose. Good pose. Excuse me. Balahara certificate, their tail, scale, aqua sacs. I was honestly impressed I got that. No fainting, thank goodness. Yay. Number of focus strikes on wounds, 3. I swear I did a lot. I thought I did focus strike wounds.
We did it. I hope Zato's okay.
Travelers, are you all right?
Oh, there he is.
Thank the winds. That encounter was nearly the end of me. I owe you my life. That was incredible back there.
Not to worry, not to worry. All in a day's work.
I've never imagined. To think a person could stand against a monster like that.
I'm sorry to be curt, but could you listen? The village is in terrible danger. There's no time to explain. We'll talk while we ride.
We ride!
Hunter! Oh, you found Zato. Isai's at the Elder's house trying to convince her.
Zato, just who I was looking for. Isai here says that a pack of Doshaguma is closing in on the village.
Yes.
You have to believe them. Everyone must seek shelter.
Nonsense. The sound of the gem chimes is and always has been the only shelter we need.
Elder, with my own eyes, I watched these people stand against the Sand Leviathans unafraid. They wield powerful tools and knowledge of monsters far greater than our own. They deserve our trust. For the wind's sake, please, please give the order for our people to shelter.
I just like how the Palico cat is just sitting there with its arms out, with its legs out like that.
If you are that
like a fucking child.
What's going on?
What happened?
The Doshaguma!
Oh, that ain't good.
Stay calm! Gather the young and elderly and take shelter!
Okay.
I'll help.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Are you okay?
Come on.
dear.
We need to move.
I know.
Have you seen Nata? He went looking for Nona.
Nona.
Let's split up.
Right.
God damn it, kid.
Nada.
Well, thankfully it was a quick find. I'm glad I put a little bit of effort into the face, but...
I got you. We gotta move.
Oh, it has very tiny eyes, I noticed. I thought it was like fully blind, but no, it has tiny eyes.
Drawn to the livestock. Nata! Don't worry, the hunter is here. Just watch. There's nothing to be afraid of. Let's find a safe place. We need to drive them out of here!
I know. Let's go.
Alright, let's go. Let's see where they're heading. Hunters die and they stare, terrified.
We might be able to get ahead of the pack.
The Sacred will take it from here.
We're counting on you.
Yep. Hey, do you see that rock?
Yeah, let's give him a headache.
There we go.
Got it.
Nice.
The pack's still going strong.
Don't lose them.
Oh, that was that. You saw that, didn't you?
Just looking long.
They seem pretty riled up.
Alrighty.
The one that's larger than the rest is their alpha.
Mm-hmm.
If we take down the alpha, the pack should disperse.
I'll try provoking it with an attack.
Attack the alpha and get its attention.
Real angry now.
Now to lead it away from the pack. We'll make for the desert.
They're right on our tails.
Yeah, I figured.
The sandstorm!
Ah! Can we fight it? That was cool. Like, the sandstorm isn't cool to see in, like, gameplay, but this is a cool visual. This cinematic here is cool.
Back him up!
On it!
Oh. Here we go.
The guild authorizes you to hunt the Alpha Doshagamo and restore peace to Knafa village.
Oh, I better be mindful.
Hang on tight. Don't get shaken off.
Got it on the ground!
There we go.
Now Cole, now's our chance.
Power up activated!
I'll see you back.
Oh boy.
You must hold on strong!
Ah! Okay, so he's got a wound on top of his head.
You must hold on strong!
Ah! All that, there we go.
Get your hand.
Hang in there.
I'm way too used to, like, a clutch claw to make wounds. I'm sorry. I'm way too used to the clutch claw to be able to, like, get back into it.
Hang in there!
There we go, and...
All right! Now!
Oh, he angry. What the fuck is over there? Like, I'm pretty sure I saw something flying over there.
Locked, loaded, ready to blast.
Ah, wrong direction. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Come on, get me your... Yep, thank you.
The lightning has them amped up. Might be able to use them as a trap.
Give me a minute. I'm doing my best with the knowledge I have, Hunter. Ah, and look, there's the Choco frog fella. God damn, this guy moves around. hits in. Get some hits in.
Did you see it?
Trying. What did I miss, Sir Dragon?
Did you see it?
Sir Dragon, it doesn't help when you do that.
Did you see it?
Sir Dragon, it doesn't help when you do that.
The sandstorm.
Like, the reason why I put it in, why I put that redeem in there was sort of as an indicator of either someone said something, or you're going to at least tell me, like, what it is that I should be seeing or something or other. Not as, like, a poke on the random part on the screen. Wait, did I find a spot for setting up camp here? Huh. Alright, pick up the sleep herb. And then, so we got that random spire here. Gold. Ah, okay, so random campsite here. Alrighty. Also, hi there, Little Incineroar. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing alright. Welcome, welcome. Obtain your first silver crown or higher in the hunting log. Oh, nice. Alright, and I got myself certificate, claw, hide. Bit of hide. Some iron ore, thank you. All that's been sent to the box. Palico did some decent thing. Hey, it was actually a... That looks like a gold crown, not a silver. A motif of the Kunafa. Gathered 10 times while Ailment Master over here. Nice.
Nice work, Hunter. You did it.
Nobody messes with my partner.
Now that the pack is dispersed, we should return to Kunafa.
Alright, we're heading back to Kunafa then.
Oh, wow. The landscape is so lush.
Yeah, it's very different.
I see the Dalthodons have new mini-sized additions to their herd.
Nice.
Oh, it's a baby. You can see so far now.
The wind's gasp is a breathtaking sight, no matter how many times I look at it. Something about it just grabs me.
There's something in that tree over there.
Oh my god, little birds!
See those birds in the forest? And now they're nesting here.
They look like silly little birds. How's your day going, little Incineroar? Can this thing go any faster, or...? No. Okay.
There's the villagers! Oh good, the livestock's safe.
Oh, yay, thank goodness. What about the lives? Hello, Vian. Didn't know these guys had names. Alright, now we're moving quicker? Cool.
The others must be worried sick. I'm sure Nata's worried sick about you too.
Yay. Can get way more honey now.
We made it.
It's great to be back.
Welcome back, friend.
The Elder and Zato told us everything.
Mm-hmm. Good to hear, good to hear.
Are you hurt? Do you need anything?
Ugh.
Elder!
So many frames just getting dropped.
Thank the winds you've returned. I've heard what you've done for us. And now the Doshaguma have moved on. Our livestock are unharmed. Our homes saved.
Yes, but
What was broken can be mended.
Oh, well, that's a positive outlook. Okay, but why is the sound of the gem chimes too relaxing? It's because they're wind chimes. Like, wind chimes in real life are relaxing as well.
Together. At times, we don't have all the answers we think we do.
They just say that the gem chimes they use sound similar to a monster that's like a predator to everything around them.
Thank you.
The only reason they would probably think that is because there's most likely, like, you know, decibels that we're not hearing that the animals are that indicate the predator. Something to eat.
Well, we belong to an organization known as the Hunters Guild. As you are aware, my friends and I are on an expedition to find the village of the Keepers. We would be grateful if you would allow us to speak to the people here and gather information.
Ah.
Of course.
Ah.
Our gates will remain open to you. Visit any time, day or night.
Elder, I believe it would be fitting to lend their comrades more of our sacred.
Why, that's a fine idea.
Yes.
May they aid you in your journey.
Tim Tam double-coated chalk. What about the Tim Tam double-coated chalks? Oh, for the something to eat, I suppose.
I'm so happy you're all safe!
Oh, I'm so glad to see you. We've been worried about you since you left.
See? Told you they'd be fine.
You saved me. I can't thank you enough.
Nice to cross one problem off the list. Speaking of which, Nata, did you and Astrum Unit have any luck with your investigation?
Uh-huh. We found this place deep in the forest with lots of water, and nearby were some drag marks. I remember that the White Wraith had something dragging from its arms. So maybe it's what left those marks.
How long ago was this White Wraith? Like,
Just be onto something.
it sounds like, you know, in recent days, but I don't know why. It feels like years. This feels like something that's like years ago,
Let me know when you're ready to go.
story-wise, but they're investigating it as if it's only days.
Hello!
Hello, Feral Frenzy Fang. Thank you so much for joining in. Yay, another quest done. Oh, and we get ourselves some cheese. Nice. All right. I am actually going to have to... Yay, we got up to Hunter rank 3 now. It is slow going in this game because, yeah, I just don't have... I don't have, like, the time... Because, like, as much as I would love to just play this game, like, for all hours of the day and such like that for streaming, I am way too locked in with this game. It's not a conducive time for streaming because, you know, if I'm locked in, I'm not really engaging with chat and what have you. Are you a fan of the Resident Evil movies? Very I'm familiar with the Resident Evil films, but that's about it. But yeah, like, as much as I would love to play this game for hours on end, like what I would do, like, you know, with new games back in, like, university or my first few years of work, for the sake of streaming, I'm not gonna play this game on stream for, like, you know, 12 hours a day or something crazy like that. I would love to, but I'm way too logged in, bird. I'm way too locked in when I actually get into this game, so people will probably see me, and they'll just see, you know, the fucking VTuber avatar, but no interactions whatsoever. And there isn't that much, like, motion to me as well. And what's more is... shoulder. Wearing the leap motion to do the hand tracking is starting to, like, wear on me, and I don't know why. I might need to go and talk to, like, Wolk or some... Not Wolk, sorry. I might need to talk to Scribbly Noodle or something like that to see, like, how is it that they're doing their thing, because I think they do a color thing, but the problem is but the thing that I find interesting is that they're also able to hold the controllers while they're doing it as well, so... Yeah. Alright. I am gonna call it here, and I'm gonna have you raid into... Gosh darn it, there is way too many people that are playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Let's see. Let's go for... You know what? We have not raided into Ko the Yoshi in a while. It looks like they're going through some World of Final Fantasy, though. So we're gonna go get ready to raid into them. Ding dong. Is this the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14? That is going to be, that's going to be the raid message that I'm going to go for as they're going through World of Final Fantasy. So we'll see how it goes there. I would love for you to join in with the raid message. And I want to thank everyone who redeemed into the bigger for Macro March. Jason, thank you so much for the subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you, Drac, Phantom Sage, for following. I appreciate it. Lost Stallion, thank you so much. Key Solar for the raid, thank you so much. I hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are. I will be back online streaming Saturday morning. So if you're in the American time, it might be better for you to see me then. I'll be going through the critically acclaimed MMORPG then. We're still going to be doing Macro March nonsense as well, so highly recommend saving your bits and your subs for that day. And hopefully I'll see you all then. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
Eee!